Is it just me, or does it kind of feel like you're constantly being told that if you're not starting a YouTube channel, then you're basically wasting your life? I can't even scroll through YouTube anymore and enjoy a mindless twerk video without some 19-year-old in a Lamborghini screaming at me. Bro, you just need your phone and a passion. Even when I'm watching age-appropriate content, I have these old folks badgering me about how YouTube is on easy mode and posting how YouTube changed their life with less than 500 subscribers. Honest to God, sometimes I'm afraid to fall asleep with YouTube on in the background out of fear that I'm going to be visited by 3 geriatric YouTubers in my sleep, telling me that I need to just start. What the f***?
Hey, my name's Kevin, and I want to talk to you about live streaming.
YouTube literally changed my life in 4 months, and I'm going to tell you how you can make it happen for yourself.
YouTube changed my life in 12 months after I uploaded my first video.
Meanwhile, I'm over here just trying to watch a video on how to fix my washing machine. And who knows, maybe you don't even want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you just like to watch. No shame, but if you're here, you've probably been thinking about starting one. Maybe you already have. You're over 40 and the algorithm gods have brought us together. For me personally, I was in this place where I kept having older creators shoved in my face telling me, just start, 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 just start. Cool. But I'm 45. I have a back that clicks and a kid who thinks I'm ancient because I still have a Facebook page.
Oh my god, Dad, you're so cringe.
But somehow starting a YouTube channel feels, I don't know, different? Also, if you want to do it, it's never been easier. And next thing I know, I'm sitting here watching YouTube and thinking, it really feels like all the old folks are on YouTube. Maybe I need to get on YouTube too. Yeah! I'm gonna start a YouTube channel.
Now what?
Now, before we go any further, welcome to Millennial Musings. I'm GM, the Geriatric Millennial, and today I'm going to break down what easy mode really means, what you actually need to get started on YouTube, and how to do it without losing your mind or your dignity. So let's dive in, shall we? Now there's this idea floating around that YouTube is on easy mode. We've all heard it, but let's be real. Easy mode just means the tools are easier. The process of creating content has been democratized. Our phones shoot in 4K, editing apps are free, and uploading can happen directly from the toilet. But before we get into everything that easy mode is, let's knock out what it isn't. Easy mode doesn't mean that YouTube owes you an audience just because you uploaded a video, nor does it mean that making money is easy. Unless you're really special or really lucky and you go viral instantly, building an audience and getting monetized is still going to be a grind. And easy mode sure as shit doesn't mean the algorithm is your friend. It's not. But in that same vein, you gotta realize it's not your enemy either. If you're not getting views or subscribers, change what you're doing. There's no algorithmic conspiracy against you. The algorithm is a tool, and if you understand how it works, the better position you'll be in to navigate it. At the end of the day, she's a fickle who doesn't care about you, me, Ali Abdaal, or even Mr. Beast for that matter. In fact, the only thing YouTube cares about is whether your content keeps people on the platform long enough to show paid ads to. That's it. And in order to do that, your content needs to accomplish one of three things. You have to educate, entertain, or solve a problem. That is your value. Bring that, and you'll earn attention. Section 2. The gear you actually need. Let's kill this gear anxiety, because this is the rabbit hole that eats new creators alive. You only need 3 things. Now it should go without saying, but YouTube being a visual media means you're going to need a camera. So let's start with the good news. You probably already have one. You know what I'm gonna say. It's my phone, right? I bet you're gonna say it's my phone. Well, it's true. Your phone is enough. This guy. iPhone started shooting 4K video 10 years ago, beginning with the iPhone 6S. So if you have a 6S or anything newer, then you're already set up. And if you don't, honestly, you could probably pick up a used one now for under $100. So the next thing you need is audio. Audio. Believe it or not, this actually matters more than video. But more good news, this doesn't need to cost you a fortune either. You can pick up a decent shotgun mic like the Rode Video Micro 2 that I'm using, or this DJI lavalier mic for under $100. But I cannot undersell the importance of good audio, because audio is annoying in the sense that nobody really notices good audio, but if your audio is bad, whoa boy, that can kill your channel and send your audience scurrying immediately. I remember my video production professor in college used to say people watch with their ears, and at the time that just sounded like a funny quote to me, but it's true, because what he was actually saying is that people are a lot more tolerant and forgiving of a bad picture quality, provided they can still understand the story, than they're likely to put up with bad audio. Think about it. Bad audio literally hurts your ears. You'll have a physical and visceral negative reaction to distorted audio. Whereas with a bad picture, you'll probably just squint your eyes and try to look past it, provided you're interested enough in whatever you're watching. And those of us who are over 40, we're not strangers to less than perfect quality. Heck, we were raised on it. Us elder millennials and Gen Xers, we grew up watching grainy analog television. We were no worse for the wear for it. We didn't even notice. Compared to the black and white TV that our boomer and silent Gen parents watched, we thought we were living the life we're Riley with. The point is, we're willing to put up with a lot when it comes to picture quality, but bad audio has always been no bueno. I know that if you're enjoying my video, then you're likely to give me a little grace if the picture starts to lose focus or dips in quality, provided you can still follow along, of course. However,
as soon as my audio starts crapping out and the sound's off, we're probably not going to be here much longer.
No matter how charming and engaging you find me. And while we're on the subject of this video, if you're getting any value so far, then please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. This is a brand new channel. In fact, this is my first video on this channel, so any likes, comments, or engagement I get here will help me tremendously with the big bad algorithm we were just talking about. I'd really appreciate your support. But yeah, audio is key. Before you worry about investing in a new camera, if you want to do something to help level up your channel, I say focus on your audio first. Upgrade your mics before your camera. It doesn't have to be expensive. Yes, a fancier microphone will technically sound better, sharper, clearer, but unless somebody's doing a side-by-side comparison, which is unlikely while they're watching your videos, nobody's going to notice much difference between a $500 microphone and a $50 to $100 microphone. All they notice is if they can hear you clearly, and if they can, then that's all that matters. And a $50 lavalier or shotgun mic is probably going to all over the internal mic on your camera. Now finally, let's move on to lighting. And keeping with my good news theme, I'm just like the good news guy today, aren't I? Good news with lighting is this doesn't have to be expensive either. In fact, it can be free. There's the big beautiful bulb right up there in the sky, and honestly, if you've got a big window you can shoot in front of, and nothing beats natural light, but if you shoot exclusively indoors or somewhere that the sun is unreliable, then you can pick up a ring light or a cheap softbox set for under $100. I think I paid $50 on a Black Friday sale for my softboxes and they work great. There's links to all my gear in the description. And finally, as for editing software, CapCut or DaVinci Resolve or even iMovie, all free, all great. If you got money to burn and you want to pay Apple $300 so you can have Final Cut Pro, then by all means go for it. I use Final Cut Pro myself, but that's just because it's what I learned on way back in college. Also, as a student, I got it at a huge discount for like $50. And don't get me wrong, I think Final Cut Pro is great, but I don't know that it's worth the $300 today when you can get DaVinci Resolve for free. Which I personally don't use as I have no need to, but the people who do use it, they love it and they swear by it. And many creators have actually switched from Final Cut Pro to DaVinci Resolve recently and they won't shut up about it. So if you're getting started, maybe check that one out. Maybe you're an Adobe person, and if you don't mind paying their soul-sucking subscription, then there's Premiere Pro, which is also good software. But again, not really worth the price anymore. I'm Final Cut Pro because I have it and I know it so well. And as an old guy over 40, what do us old people hate more than anything? That's right, change. But there you have it, everything you need to get started on YouTube. Camera, audio, lighting, and some sort of the various editing softwares out there. You do not need a $3,000 camera or a backdrop that looks like a Marvel Studio set. Just start with what you have. Don't fall into the trap of giving yourself gas.
Gas?
No, not that kind of gas. In creator land, GAS is an acronym for Gear Acquisition Syndrome. Trust me, I've been there and I regret it. In fact, come with me. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Welcome to my Chaos Corner. So this is just my assortment of all the gear I've amassed over the years. I'm always very impressed and amused when I see these other creators with these very organized and fancy rooms, home studios that they record in. As you can see, that's certainly not the case here. I've just got this assortment of various lights and miscellaneous equipment, and this is my green screen. I mostly just use it as a backdrop. I don't really do any green screen keying, but I do use it as the backdrop because it's easier to remove yourself against a solid background, so that's what I use it for. And if you're like, bruh, what do you mean you don't use the green screen? Well, that's because most of the editing software, like Final Cut Pro, which I use, has the magnetic mask, which basically does such a good job removing you, it eliminates the need for an actual green screen and keying yourself out. The AI's just gotten so good. So there you have it. Anyway, here's my softbox set. And one of my plethora of extra tripods over here. Just another small light I had to have for some reason. So I got these studio lights, which are actually pretty good. But what I got them for, so I don't really use them, is I actually got them to light the green screen back when I used to use that. But seeing as I don't use the green screen as it's intended anymore, they're kind of just glow-in-the-dark paperweights at this point. Here's another random small tripod. I don't really use it much, but it's good. This is one of my much older first cameras I don't use much anymore. It's a Canon T6i. It doesn't even shoot 4K video, it only goes to 1080p, but it's a good camera for photography, though I mostly just use it as a prop these days. And this here is my trusty teleprompter. You know, when I got this thing, I had such big intentions for it, I really thought it was going to help me level up. But you know, truthfully, I've had this for about 2 years and I think I've only used it maybe 3 or 4 times. I don't know, I just found I don't really like using it. Although it does work great. It's a great teleprompter, so if you're thinking about getting one, I do recommend this. I think the teleprompter itself costs about $150, and then you just need a tablet or your phone even, and you download the Prompt Smart Pro app, and it projects right onto the screen like you're seeing here. Here's this small ring light. I think this was the first light I ever bought, actually. It's just a cheap little light. It was only like 20 bucks or something. But again, just had to have it. Anyway, the main reason I'm showing you this is to show you this window, because this is actually my main key light, is this office is where I do most of my filming, especially the talking head stuff like what you've been seeing throughout this video. At the risk of ruining the movie magic for you, this is actually how my setup is. I just pull my green screen here, I put my chair facing that big window, and that small light behind me. I'm not going to turn it on, but I set that there as a backlight. I grab my trusty DJI wireless mic 2. Here it is sold separately on Amazon, though it actually came included with my Osmo Pocket 3 camera. Anyway, I just clip it onto my shirt here like such, and from there, I'm ready to rock and roll. And then I just have a seat here facing the window, getting that nice natural light. Everything you've seen so far, all my talking heads I should say anyway in this video, have been filmed right here on my Osmo Pocket 3. I really love this camera. This is honestly my favorite camera I'm using these days, even though I do have my Sony ZV-E10, which again is a great camera. I even got a nice Tamron 1770mm lens on there. But the Osmo Pocket 3 is just so convenient. It shoots a good 4K picture, so that's really what I've been using with the setup just like this. Then after I'm done filming, I get my footage over to my computer and go into Final Cut Pro. I use the magnetic mask like I showed you here and just cut myself out of the background, and then, you know, I just key in whatever bullshit background I'm using that day. I just snap my fingers and boom, I'm in this fake AI generated office. Snap again though and your boy's enjoying this nice sunset at this beach. This is nice. Maybe I'll hang out here for a while. Though on second thought, your boy's kind of wanted to check out this club. Oh, and that reminds me lastly, I forgot to even mention this, but this is my 7-inch Feel World monitor. I've definitely gotten and continue to get my money's worth from this when I shoot with my Sony camera. I actually keep my Sony ZV-E10 behind the teleprompter almost all of the time, as you can see it sitting behind the glass here now. That way when I am shooting talking heads on my Sony, this monitor is a great way to ensure I'm keeping within my shot. So I do like that. But seeing as most of these videos lately I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, even though this tiny monitor is only 2 inches big, I'm sitting so close that it's fine and kind of eliminates the need. But regardless, it's a good monitor, so if you're in the market for a quality but affordable one, I highly recommend it. And again, link in the description. So yeah, that's all my shit. Nothing bad, but probably over $1,000 and stuff you don't really need to get started. One camera, a lighting source, and ideally an upgraded microphone beyond the one in your camera. Anything else is just gravy. Now, let's get back to the video.
A few moments later.
Just start. But how? You've heard it countless times by now. Just start, just start, just start. But no one explains what that means for someone over 40 who isn't trying to go viral making prank videos or speedrunning Minecraft. So I'm going to tell you what you need to start in 3 realistic steps. Step 1. Pick a topic that you won't get bored with. Don't niche down right away, just pick something that you enjoy. Maybe it's finance, DIY videos, fashion over 40, maybe gardening, cooking, whatever. You're over 40, you've got life experience, and that's your unfair advantage. If we're still ticking well into our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, then we've already lived through some stuff. And I'm not just talking about our lead-painted toys, asbestos ceilings, dial-up internet, and free pizzas that weren't delivered in 30 minutes or less. By now, we've all lived through some real shit. We've had careers, we've raised families, many of us have experienced death and divorces. We've lived through multiple wars and recessions by now. Whether you've been blessed with a relatively smooth life or a struggle, you have a story. And I'm sure you've got something to share whether you think it's interesting or not. And I guarantee you that somebody out there, in fact, probably a whole lot of people can relate.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup!
But if you don't want to get personal and spill your guts out on the internet, totally understandable by the way, well then maybe talk about your career. It can be anything. Doctors, nurses, and teachers aren't the only interesting people with careers worth talking about. Share your story. If you can tell it compellingly, people will listen. Who knows? You may just be the person to sell the next generation on a rewarding career in insurance claims or supply chain management. Or maybe you work at Starbucks. Anyway, I'm just spitballing here. My point is, do anything that interests you that you won't get bored with. Try stuff out. That's the perk of being new and not having a big following. If you lose interest in your guitar lesson channel after a few videos, you can totally pivot to a geocaching vlog next week. Whoa, hold up here. Geocaching? I thought we were learning Stairway to Heaven. Step 2. Know your audience. And spoiler, it's not 16-year-olds who binge YouTube shorts on mute. Talk to grown-ups, people with jobs, kids, mortgages, and back pain. You're over 40. These are your people. Be real, be helpful, be yourself. Or play an interesting character. And finally, step 3. Plan before you burn out. Have a few video ideas ready before you get started. Make a simple content calendar even if it's just a list in your notes app. Consistency wins. Trust me, I've ghosted enough of my own channels throughout the 6 years I've been tinkering around on YouTube to know better. That's why you want to have a steady stream of ideas in your arsenal. That way when life gets hectic, which it will, you don't disappear for 6 months. Because let's face it, you're over 40. You probably don't want to post 6 videos a week. So in closing, if you're over 40 and you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, if I can offer you one piece of advice, it would be, I don't know, be an attractive woman. Seriously, it will help tremendously with your click rate. You cannot oversell the advantage of pretty privilege on a visual medium. I'm sorry, but that's the world we live in. Be honest, if you're gonna look at some over 40-year-old schmuck to give you advice, whose video are you clicking on? Well, YouTube's a lot like high school. The pretty people get the free looks, but that doesn't mean that you can't get attention too. But if cashing in pretty privilege isn't your lane, then just be your authentic self. Remember,
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
it's true. There's an audience for everyone. Be consistent, be interesting, don't worry about being trendy, don't worry about being perfect. Just be useful and show up consistently. Start with what you have, build as you go, and remember, provide value first, keep showing up, and give yourself permission to be a beginner. This is Millennial Musings. I'm GM, the Geriatric Millennial. If you got any value today, please give this video a like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember, I don't claim to speak for all the millennials, only the best ones. Until the next one, peace.